All right, so When in Rum. We are very excited for this rum to finally come out. It is called When in Rum as an homage to Kate Perry. So Kate Perry, for folks who don't know her, the market manager for all of North America for Velier. So Velier is responsible for bringing in a lot of some of the most praised, most authentic, and most culturally expressive rums in the world, including Hampton, which I think a lot of geeky rum folks will know. But as you know, running the bar at Rumba in Seattle for a long time, she was hugely influential at this beginning of this recent rum wave of getting really excited about all of these different expressions from all around the globe, really respecting and seeing the people who made them. She has a background in geography and anthropology, so people and places are her passion. And really being able to understand, like, this is an expression of these people, and this is this expression of these people. And, of course, earning her way to this position with Velier, she, is responsible for bringing some of the most important and most exciting rums into the U.S. For us. So in her role in Velier, she's been, part of us beginning to partner with them, but also she's just really deeply passionate about rum. So back in mid-March, right at the start of all of this COVID pandemic, we were just beginning to hear the news. No one was on lockdown yet, but stuff was just starting to get a little eerie. I think we can all remember that period of time. I think it was March 12th. She was with us distilling. She came and she stayed in our farmhouse. We had just been on the road together, traveling and doing events. And she came and worked at the distillery for a full day, put on her boots, stood side by side with our lead distiller, Peter. And she was actually the person helping to hook up all the hoses and pump the wash into the still and turn on the heat to the still and really learning how to taste and make cuts. And she was actually the person doing the cut, of course, side by side with Pete. But as soon as you have someone else present in the distillery, things like input, palates, tastes, nuance, it just changes the way our rum tastes because we are such an expression of the people who make it. And because we don't do any heavy filtration, no flavoring additives, no sweeteners, nothing, what you're going to taste is exactly what happened. And the cool thing about this is a single day distillation. So it is capturing that day, which I think is very, very cool. And yeah, terroir, part of terroir is know-how. And when you add a new person into the mix of how you're making your product, it's going to change the terroir of the product. And when at the distillery, we like to tease, and also it's true, that I can taste different casks and tell you, who distilled it. And, we actually just last year had a cask I tasted. I was like, I can't tell who this is. This must be a blend of our stuff, but I don't really know who this is a blend of. What is this? Is this part Dylan, part Pete, part me? Which distillers made this? And I looked it up, and it was actually a shadow day that the CEO and founder Andrew Cabot had done with us. So we can really, when someone is there and they're saying, I love these flavors, or what do you think about this? It's going to change the nature of it. So When in Rum has a very tangy, green, tropical note to it, which is not always super typical of our stuff, but it has this green papaya, soursop, even verging on starfruit kind of flavor. So I'm really excited. We were tasting it throughout the day, and I kind of went into the next room and talked to some of my crew, and I was like, I think we should bottle this as its own special thing. What do you guys think? And we named it When in Rum and started filling out the paperwork that we have to send to the government for the label. And then I walked out onto the distilling floor with a little sticky note and stuck it on the tank right in front of Kate that said it was going to be its own special release called When in Rum. And she helped us select the final bottling proof as well. And it's just been great to co-create with her. And I think it's a nice little capturing of this moment in rum. I also just think it's a delicious, incredibly high quality, overproof white rum. So yeah, I find it really exciting and thrilling. I'm very excited and I'm very into white rum, especially when it's like minimal intervention and you get to taste what came right off the still. So this rum was distilled as usual. RO water was added to very slowly bring down the proof. It was left to sit and mature in stainless steel, where we get some of that positive evaporation evaporating off like your more volatile or, smallest alcohol molecules, meaning they're carrying the least amount of flavor and leaving behind richer, fuller, longer chain alcohols that have a lot more flavor and character. You get a little bit of oxidation, so that fresh cut, tangy soursop becomes much more of like a marmalade-y type flavor. Sort of, I guess I should say, for like a kiwi, like a fresh cut kiwi becomes much more of like this dried kiwi flavor. In case people haven't had soursop, which I think is a really distinct note in this rum. As I said, it's not one we typically get at Privateer, so it's kind of exciting to see. And yeah, so it sits there, and then it also gets a little bit of that long chain fat acid formation, that esterification, so more flavor develops as it sits there in stainless steel. So I have my little lab flask. We called it Perry White for Kate Perry White internally. It's 63%, which is excellent. It's got like good energy down the palate, really drives the flavors. And it's just very perfumed, and it's lots of white, yellow, golden, and green fruitiness to me. There's like a little minty herbaliness. There's some good like wet river rock, river stone notes to it as well. And even like a little candied lemon peel, like lemon peel and honey. But really, it's got this like delicious green zestiness to it. And being 63, like I'm getting my nose pretty far in here and it's not burning. So I'm excited about that. It's so densely flavored. That elevated proof. So whenever you distill something, typically it comes off high alcohol and you add water to bring the proof to the strength where the flavors show correctly. At this higher proof, that means less water has been added, so that concentration of flavor, the energy of the alcohol down the palate is very powerful, and my mouth is like watering, which to me is always a really good sign. It means I really, really am enjoying it, and like I'm excited for my next taste, and I'm like wanting that next taste. And it doesn't, so typically often our New England reserve rum or even Tres Aromatique, there's like a custardiness or like a more of a vanilla bean kind of quality. And this does not have this. This is leaner, so it's got more energy to it, but it's also got this like, this weight to it across the palate. It's really lovely. It just tastes totally different than what we usually do, so I'm excited. I'm excited to share it with you guys. There's some mango in there, a little bit of almonds, a little bit of like a buttery macadamia nut, but definitely nowhere near that custardiness we get. And it just keeps going and evolving, and it's really pillowy. So this is going for pre-sale July 27th, and then it'll be available August 6th. We only made 420 bottles of it. I'm pretty sure that makes us our smallest unaged product we've ever released. And yeah, I think it just, like I said, I think it captures this little moment in rum, but particularly what's happening with rum. You know, here in America, we've got Kate bringing all these great rums from around the world. We're hopefully a big part of this revival of U.S. rum making, at least in the mainland, obviously not including Puerto Rico, which has always made rum, but sort of reviving this style of that continental, North American rum style. So I think it captures this little moment, little rum moment, and I'm gonna be using this a lot. So I think like summer setups, like a bucket of ice, bottle of rum, even just like tonic or ginger beer, like out by the grill, just casual fun. That's how they would, drink something like this, like a New Orleans setup, or in Jamaica at a rum bar, which obviously is very different than a Jamaican overproof, which is gonna have that earthiness and that funk and that umami. And yeah, so they're very different, but it's just, it's easy, accessible fun, and I'm going to build quite a few different types of daiquiris and different drinks off of this buddy. So again, cheers, enjoy, let us know what you thought. Thanks.